Well, Jacinta Price could potentially be the next Doge of Australia, our nation's answer to Elon Musk. And such a role is unfortunately needed. The Sunday Telly reports that your taxpayer dollars are funding over $1 million on decolonising breastfeeding, nearly $900,000 on the mouth as an expression of racial injustice, over $300,000 on subverting souvenir tea towels, and $18,000 on a drag experiment. Well, joining us now to discuss is Shadow Indigenous Australians Minister Jacinta Price. Jacinta, thank you very, very much for your time. What even is decolonising breastfeeding? It just is so absurd.
Look, it is absolutely absurd. And again, it goes back to this concept that somehow First Nations people, Indigenous Australians, have to be treated differently to the rest of the country. And for some reason, the concept of breastfeeding has been colonised and needs to be decolonised. I mean, I don't know why we're not supporting programs that take an approach to support mothers in general in terms of how to take care of their children with breastfeeding and those sorts of issues and concerns. But these grants were found by the Menzies Research Centre. They've been doing a raft of work. There are about 21 grants that they have found that have been identified and sort of brought to my attention and to the Coalition's attention. The Prime Minister needs to explain why he thinks these grants are a valuable spend of taxpayers' money, because where I'm sitting, I'm just scratching my head at the moment.
I know the examples of waste are so absurd, and yet we have seen Peter Dutton and you as well face criticism when you've announced your plans to look at the waste and to actually cut the public service. Jacinta, I also want to ask you about this report in today's Australian that revealed law students at Macquarie University Law School may fail an exam if they perform an underwhelming acknowledgement of country or even refuse to acknowledge the traditional Aboriginal owners at all. What's your view on this?
Look, it's quite disgraceful. I think the whole concept of welcome to country is a reinvention of culture, if you like. The fact that it is being imposed upon university students in their education institutions, especially when it's being implanted into courses that actually don't have anything to do with Indigenous culture or history or anything like that. This is pure indoctrination. It's not education. It's something that we as the Coalition have a plan to ensure does not go ahead. And I know that my wonderful colleague, Sarah Henderson, is doing a raft of work in this space, as we know, when we've been looking at anti-Semitism also within universities, that we can't continue to push these ideologies onto students, and they should be there. It's their right to have an education and not be indoctrinated.
I hear so many examples of the parents of university students telling me that, their kids know that they have to give what is seen as the right answer when it comes to taking a particular position in a subject essay, no matter what the topic, because otherwise they'll get marked down for it. And at the end of the day, the students are there to get good marks, to succeed and get a job. So, the idea that universities are stifling freedom of thought is very disturbing. You just mentioned... Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I'm also hearing from students as well. I think this is really just the tip of the iceberg, and we will probably uncover a lot more than just this in terms of what universities are subjecting students to.
Exactly. That's why we do need a Royal Commission into it.